Following up on the Spock thing here. I had hoped by fishing out these old boat anchors here, I might be able to head something off, but no, unfortunately, they incorporate JJ Trek, so the infection is spread. They have the Spock's birth date as 2230, which is, I'm sorry to say, it's wrong. Okay? And how I can say it is, like, when you're going through and doing something as inherently contradictory sometimes as a TV series like this, you got to weigh different data points differently. You know, like how important are they to the plot, what kind of weight they have, which one is just meaningless noise. It's like when trying to figure out where engineering is and how the engines work. You know, what actually points to something concrete and which one is just meaningless, you know, technobabble to indicate peril. You know, in that case, it's like if there was something Scotty could actually do, inevitably it always pointed towards something down in the secondary hull with one reactor feeding power to the nacelles. When it was just something's going to happen to make the ship blow up, and it had nothing to do with Scotty or the engineering, or like, you know, something on the planet was making something go weird. They made an obvious reference to the nacelles, and even they contradict sometimes about what was what, and they really are meaningless. So I'm going to throw something in. So regarding Spock, one, as far as the question of is yesteryear canon, the animated series is canon. Okay, that's been settled law for a while now. When they started making direct references to it in DS9 and Enterprise, it's canon. Okay, and even before that, if you look on the first chronology and encyclopedia, they said parts of items that were referenced in animated series are considered canon, even if the series itself at that time was not. Like Captain April being first captain of the Enterprise, and Spock undergoing the Kazwan, ritual at the age of 7. So, now that the animated series is now official canon, and I'm going into that on previous videos, it's set about what would be the animated series' 4th season, which in this case puts it about 2270. And it is stated explicitly in there that what happened on Vulcan when Spock was 7 was 30 years earlier. Therefore, Spock, at the time of the animated series, is 37. Run the numbers. That means he was born in 2233. Which actually kind of works out. That does put him at the same age as Kirk, so that kind of takes away something I'd been holding on to, but I'll deal with that later. Not in this, another video, probably. But basically, for the sake of a graphic on a screen that nobody read anyway and doesn't mean anything to plot, JJ has now undermined the entire timeline. And they're taking his word. Later, supersedes it. No, it doesn't. One, I don't recognize any authority of JJ or Alex to overwrite Dorothy Fontana. That don't happen, okay? And also the fact that this was long settled canon before these guys came along. So no, you don't just contradict a main point of the timeline for the sake of a graphic on a screen. Yeah, one is a production error, the other one's a deliberate choice. And guess what? The deliberate choice was in the script, back in the 70s. Your little graphic, okay, someone did a data entry wrong, they got the year wrong. Okay, move on. And a special note to Memory Alpha. And also, yeah, John Van Sitters, you're going to have to do an update to this one here, okay? This, you got that wrong. Not only get away with it because you don't have the animated series in there, which also needs to be addressed. But this entire timeline, JJ Trek has to be as a complete and total alternate timeline, start to finish. Yeah, their Spock was born in 2230. Spock in the canon was born in 2233, okay? That's all the justification I need right there. But it's like these guys, and consider how often they essentially reference yesteryear, I think they would have done a little more homework on that episode. Figure out what happened, and they're picking so much on years and somehow making that the part of the start date, which is idiotic to begin with. It's like these guys don't know what they're doing, and they don't care. And they're running roughshod, and they're undermining the entire franchise of the process. So yeah, they have to go, and their stuff with them. And And you don't even have to do a certain, like you keep joking. The only thing that's going to say this is Q showed up at the last second. Oh, this won't do it all. No, just reject it all. It's an alternate timeline. It's an obvious reboot. Nothing matches. They're not even trying to make it match. And all the pieces, you put all the pieces back together, it's like they're lying through their teeth. It was never, it's a reboot from the beginning. It was never the same thing. I don't care how much it's Prime, it's Prime. The only conclusion from that is that Prime is not the canonical timeline. Prime is their own timeline. And the Kelvin is an offshoot of that timeline. It has nothing to do with what we've been watching for the past 50 years. So, yeah. I'm disappointed that as expensive as these encyclopedias were, and still are, what's the going around these boys here? Price on this? $150. $186.99 if you're Canadian. No. For that. And you get that something on. No. Get back here. One, I can tell you right now, when it gets to the Concorde, no, we're not going with that. We're going 2233. Because one, we're not going to the JJ track at all anyway. So there's no reason to even reference that. And again, we are incorporating the animated series. It always has incorporated the animated series, you know, from the Valentine version on. And that's our hard data point right there. And you know, and I'm going to put it to a memory alpha again. That, look, not all data points are created equal. This one is very plot driven. It is explicitly stated in dialogue. The JJ stuff is just, you know, sometimes it's not even, it's deleted scenes. So that never made the cut anyway. And also it's just graphics on a screen in the middle of typical Michael Bay-ish action scenes that no one's going to stop to read anyway because something's about to hit the ship. Well, you know, who cares about the, you know, Spock's birthday on a screen off to the side? Yeah. So, I think, you know, maybe, I don't know, our old standby tool of letter writing campaigns. You never know. But this, we finally get this thing when there's going to be a lot of work and cleanup mess, you know, to do after all this. So, PayPal, Patreon down below, and we will yak at you later.